It has been a busy past few days with the Hurricanes, as today is the trade deadline, and they lost in Vegas, and now they're in Arizona tonight. Find out what the Hurricanes could do at the trade deadline, how things went down in Vegas, and how things should go down in Arizona tonight. All in this episode of Locked On Hurricanes.
You're Locked On Hurricanes, your daily podcast on the Carolina Hurricanes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hey there, Caniacs. I'm your host, Jared Ellis, and you are listening to Locked On Hurricanes on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And as always, thank you for making Locked On Hurricanes your first listen of this Friday afternoon. Don't forget to follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at LO_Hurricanes and myself on Twitter at Jared Ellis_96. Now, big thing is the trade deadline, and that's what we're going to talk about first today, as well as recapping the last game against Vegas and previewing tonight's game against Arizona. But trade deadline, that's the thing that everyone's talking about right now. So, the Hurricanes have made two deals already with trading for Jesse Puljujarvi and Shane Gottisbehere. Oh, God, I'm still struggling to pronounce that one. But that's all the Hurricanes have done so far. Their depth moves, and it's weird. It's very weird as to why they haven't done more. Reports, given anything can happen, but a lot of the reports I've been seeing is that Hurricanes are mostly done at this point, maybe aside from some depth moves and stuff like that. Which is weird because, a lot of people were talking about that Tom Dundon podcast appearance where he's talking about the Hurricanes being really aggressive. Those are your aggressive moves that you've made. I'm not sure. I would like to think they do more. It felt like Timo Meyer was almost a guarantee from what the reported asking price was. Like the Hurricanes could easily do that, and that didn't happen. And same with Tarasenko, and again, didn't want him, but Patrick Kane is like I feel like a lot of these moves, the Hurricanes could have done those, but they didn't. And it's the two names that are standing out right now, both from Calgary, of Lindholm and Backlund. Those are both guys I feel they could work here with the Hurricanes, but it's kind of all just been hearsay of will they, won't they, and I just don't. It's getting really frustrating of the whole "we like our group" type thing. We're only going to make these sort of depth trades at the deadline, and you're continually dealing with these second round exits in the playoffs. And the thing is, also take that aside from it, the getting bumped and everything done and said, all that. Look at every team around you. Every team that is going to contend with you in the playoffs, whether it be Boston, New Jersey, New York Rangers, all of these teams have gotten significantly better here at the trade deadline with trades that they've made. And the Hurricanes made two depth trades. I mean, given we got till 3 in the afternoon today, so I mean, there's still time for stuff to get done. But it's just like, what the heck? Everyone else around you got significantly better and loaded up for this stretch through the remainder of the regular season and into the playoffs. Everyone else loaded up. Tampa as well. They're a team, their window's closing. They're going all in, trying to get another cup. And, what the heck is going on with the Hurricanes here? I mean, I'm not saying they can't, make a push in the playoffs with the group they have right now, but this isn't 2019. Okay, you know, teams around us, they've made changes and whatnot. But people expect the Hurricanes to be good now. That run there a few years ago, that caught everyone by surprise, and people didn't know what to expect then. Now people do, and people have clearly been able to stop it. This team has been great in the regular season, but everything just dries up in the playoffs. And again, I know Max Pacioretty was supposed to be that thing with his injury, that timetable. We've talked about that a lot. So maybe they didn't have, a big plan in place or whatever. But again, just with these asking prices, again, Timo Meier, he was the best fit, in my opinion. He was who they should have swung for the fences with. Still do your other two trades, that's fine. But Timo Meier, he's the one that I felt was the one that they really should go after. And with the asking price, what I felt the Hurricanes could have done that. I mean, we'll see what happens later on today. But I'm just struggling to understand the process here. You're talking about being aggressive at the deadline. Going back to that Dundon interview, talking about being aggressive. You haven't done anything. You made 2 depth trades. Arizona's the fire sale. So that's you're gonna trade off anything they can get. Puljujarvi, he's been one that's been talked about getting traded for a while. Heck, he's been linked to the Hurricanes for a while as far as a trade. Going back to before the start of the regular season, we were hearing talk about that. And look at what they gave up. A prospect and what was it? 3rd rounder in 2026. I mean, this was we'll see what else happens today. But as a whole, I've been pretty disappointed by the Hurricanes with this trade deadline. Again, we'll talk more tomorrow and throughout the next coming days. But this was just after everything we were being told of, oh, they're going to be aggressive, and then looking at again what everyone else around us is doing. It feels like common sense that they should have went out and tried to make something happen with this stuff, but that wasn't the case. Again, Elias Lindholm and Kel Backlund, both from Calgary. I think those are probably the best 2 that the Hurricanes should go after at this point. Really like Lindholm. I think that's who they should go for. If they can't do that, then go Backlund. But even still, like, what? I just don't understand the thought process of this trade deadline, and that's. I'm sure there's a bigger plan at play. The Hurricanes are really good at long-term planning, with their contracts and whatnot. And they don't want to get too too overwhelmed and whatnot. I get that because you do have a lot of contracts coming up here in the next couple of years, and you don't want to get saddled with something that wouldn't be good for the organization. Because they do like guys with term on their deals. We've seen that in the past. Brady Shea, Vincent Trocheck being the 2 biggest ones that come to mind for me. You do have those contracts coming up, with Sebastian Aho, Jacob Slavin, Brett Pesce, Brady Shea. Yeah, the list goes on. The whole Jordan Staal, whole lot of guys coming up for deals. So you don't want to get saddled with, a contract or whatever, that won't work out long term. But again, I just feel that there was more that could have been done. And we'll just have to wait and see. The guys that I thought made the most sense, they have since been moved elsewhere. So now we're just gonna have to wait and see these last few hours of what the Hurricanes end up deciding to do for the trade deadline. But again, this whole we like our group whole stuff, it's all well and good until the second round comes, and then you're going and playing golf. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough last stretch of the regular season into the playoffs with the way other teams have loaded up. They're ready to go. I mean, look at the Rangers right now. I mean, they loaded up big time. Same with the Devils, and they're scary teams. They're very scary teams, and the Hurricanes are going to have to win the Metro. It feels like at this point. So we'll see what happens, folks. Still, 3 hours left before deadline time. So never know. They could do something, but we'll talk about that tomorrow. But let's get into the game against Vegas and tonight's game against the Arizona Coyotes. And we will do that, folks, right after this quick break. And, folks, it's starting to get warm out. People are starting to go on hikes. You're going to need snacks for that hike. And Built Bar is the best thing to take on that hike with you. Again, folks are still trying to stick to New Year's resolutions of being healthier, and weather's getting nicer. Folks are going out on more walks, and you're walking in the park or whatever, may get a little hungry, may want a little snack. Built Bar is the thing to do. And you guys that have been around for a long time, you know that Built Bars are covered in 100% real chocolate, and you know just how many good flavors there are. Just a handful of them. Churro, my personal favorite, peanut butter brownie, coconut almond, and there is something for everyone. So if you're new here, make sure you go to their website, built.com, and check out all of their flavors. Or if you don't want to go online, well, you are in luck because now you can go to Walmart or Sam's Club and get some. At Walmart, you can get a 4-bar box of cookies and cream, double chocolate, or coconut puffs. Or if you close to Sam's Club, you can get a 13-bar box of brownie batter or churro. That brownie batter does sound really, really good. And the thing about Built Bars is that they are also really healthy despite having all of these great flavors with only 130 calories. 4 grams of sugar, and 17 grams of protein. So right now, go to your local Walmart, go to your local Sam's Clubs, or go online to built.com and get you some Built Bars for your springtime hikes, bike rides, whatever. Built Bar is going to be there for you. That brownie batter does sound really good. But let's get into last night's game against the Vegas Golden Knights. And it wasn't last night. I totally misspoke there. But diving into this game, we're going to keep this brief. It was obviously a 3-2 loss to Vegas, and it just felt well. One, the broadcast was crap. It was a TNT broadcast, so I really don't enjoy watching the TNT broadcast. But it was scoreless through the first period. It just felt it really just felt like the Hurricanes were on their heels a lot in this game, for me at least. The offense finally got going in the second period. Eichel, he scored 2 of the Golden Knights goals, and he was the big difference maker there for Vegas. He's the reason why they won that game. He really put that team on his back. He opened up the scoring. Marty Necas came back. But then, Eichel ended up scoring again, to give the Knights the lead back. And then, Jordan Staal, with his goal there in the third period, it really sucked the life out of Vegas. And, really, you listen to the broadcast, it just felt like the energy there just finally deflated. It felt like the Hurricanes finally, like, really had, like, some sustained momentum in this game. And it felt like, all right, they're going to make a push. They're really going to make it. They're fighting back, showing that resilience that we know this team has. But ultimately ended up being a mistake cause. Jordan Staal called it a mental lapse that ended up leading to that Riley Smith 2-on-1 that ended up getting past Frederick Anderson. That gave the Golden Knights that 3-2 lead with a little over 3.5 minutes left in the game. Now, the big thing for me with this game, again, it just felt like the Hurricanes really struggled to get some momentum going in this game. It felt like they were really clawing back it felt like the entire game they're just playing from behind. And I know, like, score wise, aside from a couple ties, they were playing from behind. They never led in this game, but it really just it felt like it. It felt like they were playing from behind. Up until that Jordan Stahl game tying goal, for me, it felt like they were playing from behind. One thing, Rod, he didn't go on a rant. He didn't want to get fined again. But the thing is, they're not getting any power plays right now, and that was noticed it in the preview for tonight's game, and I felt it was apt to bring it up, whether it be in this recap or the preview. Quote, for the first time in franchise history, the Canes have gone without a power play twice in the last 4 games. The team has had a total of just 19 power plays in their last 10 games, despite the league average being over 3 power plays per team per night. They've also had 2 or fewer chances on the man advantage in 7 of their last 10 games played, end quote. I know the Hurricanes power play isn't the best, but I mean, you're not even getting these opportunities. And I just wonder like what's going on out there. Like we're seeing these obvious calls that are being missed. And eh, I get, you're not always gonna get the calls you want and whatnot. And everyone's always gonna be like, oh, the refs are out to get this team, whether it's the Hurricanes, the Panthers, the Hornets, or whatever team. I mean, you're gonna hear that regardless of the sport. Fans being saying the refs are out to get their team. And I'm not saying the refs are out to get the Hurricanes, but it's just like, what the heck is going on? I mean, again, they're just not getting anything at all. And we see this feels like every season around this time where the Hurricanes just aren't getting any calls. They're just not going on the power play. And it's really, you can tell it's frustrating to the players. You can tell it's frustrating to Rod. It's frustrating to the fans. And I just don't, it's just one of those things. I just don't know how to fix that. And, I mean, we'll talk about it, here in the Arizona preview here in a second, but I just, because these teams are committing obvious penalties against the Hurricanes, I don't know what the heck, you got to do here. And, because you don't want to get an embellishment penalty. And, because you're trying to make it obvious that, hey, this guy tripped me or whatever, and then you get called for embellishment, because you fell. Is it's very frustrating. I think the Hurricanes, really, we obviously know their bread and butter is 5-on-5 play, and we know how good they are on that. But, one thing they need to do is with their penalty kill, they just need, especially for right now, again, penalty kill is really good, but you're not getting these calls. You're going on the kill a lot. Your kill needs to be like on point, and for the most part, it is. But also with the power play, who knows if they'll get one tonight against Arizona with the way things have been going. But your power play really needs to be on point because you're not getting opportunities. They really need to be ready. Like, hey, say they just get one tonight. Say they just get one power play opportunity tonight against Arizona. They need to make it count. Obviously, a power play goal would be the best, but even still, just get momentum. I said it, going into that game against Vegas, just have it be a threat. Even if you don't score, create some opportunities there, and just try to get some momentum on your side. If I'm the Hurricanes, that's what I'm wanting to do there. You generate momentum, and obviously, if you score on the power play, that's great. But even if it can be momentum, you carry back into 5-on-5, and you can go down, score, whatever. That's what they really need to do with the power play opportunities if they get any tonight against Arizona. But Yeah, we're going to talk about Arizona's game tonight here in just a second, right after this quick break, folks. Now, going into tonight, the Hurricanes, they got a lot of new folks coming in to their team. We'll see if Shane plays tonight. Don't know when yet when Jesse Puljujarvi is going to play, but they got some new faces. And say you may be needing some new faces for you at your job. Indeed is the place that can help you out. If you're hiring, you need Indeed because Indeed is the hiring partner where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. And Indeed is the only job site where you're guaranteed to find quality applications to meet your must have requirements, or else you don't pay. Instead of spending hours on multiple job sites hoping to find candidates with the right skills, you need one powerful hiring partner that can help you do it all. Indeed partners with you on every step of the hiring process. Find great talent through time saving tools like Indeed Instant Match assessments and virtual interviews. With Instant Match, as soon as you sponsor a post, you get a short list of quality candidates with resumes on Indeed that match your job description, and you can invite them to apply right away. Plus, you only pay for quality applications that meet your must have requirements. Indeed makes it easy to hire great talent. According to Comstor, it is the number one job site worldwide, and Indeed delivers 4 times more hires than all other job sites combined, according to Talent Nest in 2019. Join the 3 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. So starting right now with a $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at indeed.com/locked on. Offer valid through March 31st. So go to indeed.com/locked on to claim your $75 credit before March 31st. Indeed.com/locked on. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire. You need Indeed. Now, getting into tonight's game against Arizona, we'll see if Shane plays tonight. I honestly probably doubt it. I mean, it just feels like very, very soon. Again, not saying it won't happen, but considering he hasn't been able to practice with the team yet, I just feel like that's probably not going to happen. He is meeting the team tonight, obviously. Heck, at this point may have already, but we'll just have to wait and see on that. I personally, I don't think it's gonna happen tonight. I think, he'd probably, just be sitting up in the press box or wherever. I don't see him suiting up for the Hurricanes tonight. I see them wanting to get a couple practices in first before that. But that's just me. Puljujarvi, again, still dealing with visa issues. Not sure when we'll see him. Maybe we see him against Tampa Bay. I think it's more likely that we're seeing him whenever they're up in Montreal. No, well, he'll at least meet the team then because he's in Canada. But, uh, I think, lineup wise, you're probably going to see the same thing, you saw against Vegas as far as your forwards and defensemen. I think really the only change you could possibly see here tonight is that being Antti Ranta slotting in net instead of Frederik Andersen tonight. I think that's really the only change you're going to see. Again, Puljujarvi not able to be here, Shane not able to practice. I think maybe he does practice with the team today, but as far as his first like meeting or whatever, but I don't see him playing tonight. I just don't see that happening. I don't think that'd be a very. I just don't think that would be good. And I don't think that would be the move, as the kids would say. But all in all, though, again, lineup wise, I don't see much changing. Could be wrong. Yeah, it tends to be most of the time I am wrong when it comes there. So considering I said Ronto will probably start, Anderson will probably start. Considering I said Shane probably won't play, he'll probably play. But we'll see tonight, come 9:30, 10 o'clock, whenever the game is. But getting into the keys for the game, those are going to be the important things tonight. And kind of segueing from what we were talking about there at the end of the Vegas game. The big one for me tonight is do what you can to draw those penalties. Make it obvious, and don't get called for embellishment, of course. But you're having these issues of not getting any calls at all. You know, really work at drawing some, draw a slashing call, draw a high stick or, an offside or whatever it may be, draw these things that can give you these power play opportunities. And whenever you do get those, like I said, take advantage of them, create some momentum, be a threat. Those are the big things here. Obviously, yes, score a power play goal, but you just get some momentum on their side. That's going to be really big. And, you know, one thing with that game against Vegas was how Jack Eichel took over the game. And he was the reason they won that game. He was the best player out there. And we need, our top guys to step up and play like that, take over a game. Yeah, the top two lines have been crazy good as of late. And yeah, here's a little snippet from preview quote prior to the win over Montreal on February 16th. Rob Brind'amour and staff made a tweak to two of their lines, swapping Andrei Svechnikov and Teuvo Teravainen. Those two who have been playing on the left wing alongside line mates Sebastian Aho, Seth Jarvis, Jesper Kotkaniemi, and Martin Necas have combined to produce 34 points in 6 games since the switch. Like, yeah, those top two lines have been insane. They need to continue that. Again, last night, that was just one game, and yeah, I know that was the second in the row that they've dropped. But, as a whole, those two lines have been really good. And I want to see that continue. I want to see Andrei Svechnikov, Teuvo Teravainen, and Sebastian Aho. These guys are supposed to be our top guys. I want to see them step up, take over a game like Jack Eichel did to you the other night. That's what I want to see from these guys. I want to see them be game changers because go back to the trade deadline. So many teams around us loaded up with game changers. We need Sebastian Aho to be a game changer. We need Andrei Svechnikov to be a game changer. That's what we need right now. And that's what we're going to need come playoff time. We're going to need these guys that can step up and take over a game and be a guy that you can really rely on to go down there and get the job done in the playoffs. We're really going to need that. Marty Necas, he's been on tear this year. He's going to be another guy. We need him to be a game changer. And, I know a lot of people, have, said, the team doesn't need, to load up, when it comes to something like that with a forward like a Timo Meier or something. But yeah, obviously, you can go to the grit and, the physicality aspect of it. That stuff's always going to be welcome. But look at what the teams around us have done. They have loaded up when it comes to offensive production. The Hurricanes have not. And that's going to be something come playoff time. That heck, as much as I dislike the TNT broadcast, all something they brought up there is how everyone around the Hurricanes, have loaded up, and the Hurricanes, they don't have that big superstar guy that they can rely on. So it is what it is there. But again, those guys that I mentioned, Andrei Svechnikov, Sebastian Aho, Marty Necas, I want to see, and those just top two lines in general, I want to see those guys step up, take over this game tonight. I really want to see that because those are the guys. I mean, you want any guy to do it. I mean, I'm fine with literally anyone. The playoffs last year, that Game 7 against Boston, Max Domi did it. That was like the one thing of note he did with the Hurricanes. So, like, I'm fine with anyone taking over the game for the Hurricanes, but those are the guys I look at the most that I want them to do it. They're the ones that are supposed to do it. But, another big thing is for tonight's game is, we're talking about guys taking over games. Just the team as a whole with this, they need to take advantage of the fact that Arizona of how many shots Arizona allows. They average, I think, like 34.6 shots allowed. Take advantage of that because they also average the league low with like 29 and some change. So let's take advantage of that tonight. Arizona, they allow so many shots, and we know how many shots the Hurricanes can put on goal. Let's do that. Maybe not have a repeat of the last time we played Arizona. We got shut out for nothing. But, let's take advantage of some of these shortcomings that the Coyotes are having. How many shots they allow? Like, let's pepper the goalie with some shots tonight, and top guys play like top guys. Let's, you know, with them allowing or getting off so few shots, let's have the defense just freaking smother them. We know how smothering and tough this defense can be to play against. Take full advantage of it tonight. Smother them and not let them get a shot off. I mean, they average so few already. Like, let's take advantage of that. Don't let them get any off, and then take advantage of how many they allow. That's going to be big tonight, and we'll see how things play out. As far as the trade deadline goes, and whether or not Shane plays tonight. But again, I personally don't think he will. Maybe we'll see some more trades come through between now and game time. But we'll just have to wait and see. Deadline's at 3 o'clock this afternoon Eastern time. We'll talk about whatever else the Hurricanes end up deciding to do over the weekend. So make sure you are following the show on Twitter and Instagram at LO_Hurricanes, myself on Twitter at Jared Ellis _96, and subscribe to the show on YouTube. And I will talk to you guys in the next episode when we recap this game against Arizona and whatever other trades the Hurricanes decide to make at the trade deadline. Let's go Canes, folks.